Welcome to Psychic Insights, where pop culture meets higher consciousness and the tea is always a little bit mystical. I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and around here we don't just watch the drama unfold. We read the energy behind it, whether it's celebrity scandals, reality TV, chaos, or true crime with a twist. I'm tuning in to bring you the intuitive scoop the headlines miss. So buckle up, because your aura's about to get entertained. Welcome back to my channel. It's Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend. Hopefully your favorite psychic on the internet. And if not, like, subscribe, maybe you'll change your mind. Okay. You know, we've been following this case for a while, the Laura Owens case. And something just happened in her criminal case, and it raises a lot of eyebrows and a lot of questions. And according to the court record, Laura Owens now has a new attorney representing her in her felony case brought by the state of Arizona. Brought to you by the state of Arizona. There should be some commercial opportunities here. All right. And here's where things get strange. Laura previously told the court she was indigent, meaning she couldn't afford to pay a lawyer. She also filed for bankruptcy. So if she couldn't afford an attorney before, where is the money coming from now? I hope our girl Jennifer is keeping her eyes on this. If you don't know Jennifer, she's she's an attorney and for the Department of Justice, and she was at the bankruptcy hearing, and damn, that woman, she's awesome. Anyway, there's some pretty powerful women that's been on this case. All right, so where's the money coming from? Today we're going to break down what the court filing actually shows, why her public defender may be out, who could be paying for this new representation, and of course I pulled cards. And we wanted to look at the energy behind this development. All right, because this shift in legal representation might just tell us a little bit more about what's happening behind the scenes. And you know, we love to go behind the scenes, energetically, that is. All right, so here's what we know from the case record. Laura Owens is listed as the defendant in a criminal case. The state is being represented by prosecutor Edward Leiter. But Laura's representation has changed. That doesn't surprise anyone, does it? Her new attorney is now listed as Christian Luters. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but we're going to go with it. Previously, she had a public defender. I liked him. Maybe he said some things to her that she did not like. But now she has private counsel. And that's a pretty significant shift, because public defenders are assigned when someone cannot afford a lawyer. So when private counsel suddenly appears on the case, it raises the obvious question: did something change financially? All right, so there are several reasons why a defender might leave, right? One possibility is that the court determined that Laura no longer qualifies as a public defender. Public defenders are only assigned if the court believes someone truly cannot afford representation. If new financial information comes to light, which I suspect it did, the court can remove that representation. And another possibility is a conflict of interest or breakdown in attorney-client relationship. That's also possible. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. But when a private attorney suddenly appears after someone claimed indigence, it naturally raises our questions, right? All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Legal defense in felony cases are not cheap. Criminal defense attorneys often require retainers that can range from thousands to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the case. And we know this case is kind of wacky, right? So, if Laura filed for bankruptcy and claimed she couldn't afford a lawyer, who's funding this defense now? So there's a few possibilities we can consider. Someone in her family could be paying. A supporter or benefactor could be covering the cost, or the attorney could be working on a reduced fee or pro bono basis. Another possibility people have wondered about is whether someone connected to the earlier legal battles might be involved in this case. For example, viewers often ask whether attorney David Gingras could have any role in advising or helping behind the scenes. There's no evidence of that publicly right now, but when a case like this continues to evolve, it's natural for people to ask questions. So why does this matter? This isn't just procedural. Changing attorneys can signal something important in a criminal case, and sometimes it means a new defense strategy, a new financial backing, preparation for a trial, or a shift in how the case might be fought. And that's why this development caught my attention. Because when the legal team changes, the energy around the case shifts. So I decided to pull my cards. Okay, so what we got? I'm a little slap happy. I think I'm fighting off a cold, so I've got my emergency going. If you never had it, like pump the vitamin C, man. I've been healthy all season, so I'm planning to stay it. We pulled ship, all right. We pulled fish. That's finances. We've got clouds. We've got, where did it go? We got woman. Oh, I missed one. All right, we got coffin. We got sun. We got heart. We got moon. We got mice. We got dog. I love the dog. And we got path. Okay. So when you read Lenormand spreads like this, they often tell a narrative. And this one actually tells a very interesting story, as they always do. So let's go through it. Okay. So for ship and fish and chips, fish and chips. No, the spread begins this way, and the cards are strongly associated with money movement. The money is moving, and financial shifts. So remember, ship means movement. Fish could be finances, possibly from a new source. And sometimes ship and fish together indicate funding arriving from somewhere unexpected. So right away, the spread highlights the financial mystery. So then we have the clouds and the woman. Clouds and the woman. Clouds represent confusion, uncertainty, or lack of transparency. And the woman here clearly is Laura. So the energy suggests that the financial picture surrounding her situation is unclear or murky. Does that surprise anyone? And in other words, there may be more happening behind the scenes than what's being seen visibly right now. Okay. So then let's put the women and the coffin together. All right, and coffin represents an ending. Symbolically, this lines up very well with the end of the public defender representation, and something in her legal situation has closed out. A chapter has ended, and that allowed something new to begin. All right, so then we can look at the the coffin and the sun. It's storming here in Chicago, which is weird to hear. Anyway, okay. Sun represents visibility, exposure, and major development. So after an ending, something very visible emerges. And what just happened publicly? A new attorney appeared on the case. Right. Then we have the heart and the moon. The heart and the moon. The moon relates to reputation, public perception, and emotional motivations. Heart can represent personal loyalty, or strong emotional investment. And together, these cards suggest that this development may be tied to image, reputation, or someone emotionally invested in helping. I wonder who that could be. If you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments. Who do you think is behind all this? I have my thoughts. Okay, so then we have the dog and the path. Oh, wait, I made a mistake. We're going to do the moon and the mice, because this is interesting too. So we have moon and mice. And mice represents stress, erosion, chipping away at something, and things slowly being eaten away. If you've ever had mice, you know what I mean. All right, this combination often shows damage to reputation or ongoing pressure. There's a few people on here that have had, in this case, have had damage to reputation. All right, which makes sense in a high-profile legal case where publicly the scrutiny is growing. All right, and then we have the dog and the path. Dog and the path. All right, dog represents loyalty, support, and allies. The path represents a decision point, and together these cards suggest someone stepping in as a loyal supporter while new strategic direction is chosen. And in other words, this new attorney could represent a shift in the path of the case. All right, so the bigger question is, so stepping back and just looking at this at both legal reality and symbolic spread, we're left with a few big questions. Why did the public defender step down? And who is funding this new legal representation? And does this change signal a new strategy in the defense? Because when resources suddenly appear in a case where someone claimed financial hardship, people naturally start asking where those resources came from. So far this case has had its twists and turns from the very beginning. So what else do we expect from it, right? And this new development is just another layer to the story. The legal process will ultimately determine what happens in court, but moments like this give us clues about how the situation may be evolving behind the scenes. So I'm very curious to see what might unfold next. So what do you think about this development? Do you think Laura Owens suddenly has had private, or why do you think she's had this new private attorney? Do you think someone is helping fund the case? Who could that be? Or do you think there's another explanation? Let me know about your thoughts in the comments section, because as always, this case is twisty and turny, and I love hearing from you. And sometimes the biggest clues come from the things that change quietly in the background. I think next we're going to take a look at her former attorney and maybe the new attorney and what that could look like going forward for her case. Also, I'm thinking about doing a live, oh my God, Akashic record soul reading on Miss Laura. It'll come through my own records, not hers. I don't want to invade her energy. God knows. So let me know what you think, and what kind of questions would you like me to ask the records, the Akashic records, which is really just our soul's records from when we decided to become human, okay? Or in other words, God's memory of who we are. So let me know in the comment section about that too, and we'll see how that goes. That should be interesting, especially trying to do it technologically. I'm always down for that. All right. Thanks again for liking, subscribing, and supporting my channel. I will see you in the next one. You know I will.